All right, we are live in the house, Dope Quality Recordings, here with Steve Bassett Band. All righty, Steve. How were you able to start your journey in the entertainment business? Where did this all start?
Well, I think it started when I was a kid and I heard the Beatles. That's an old band, and that inspired me to learn how to play guitar and eventually get a degree in music composition. And from there, I played with a number of people through the years, but for the last many years, I've been playing with these guys and gigging around town, and we got a nice following, and that's how we're doing it.
Okay, and what about you, Gene?
Well, I grew up in Eastern Washington in Richland, and again, the Beatles were, the big influence. But also, I got to hang around a lot of jazz guitar people up there. John LaChapelle, who was Larry Coryell's guitar teacher, and we played in bands all over the Pacific Northwest. I started out on the radio, actually. We sang, we did a little song on the radio, kind of a comedy song, and then we decided to start a band, and so I've just been playing in bands since I was 14. All over the Northwest, and then when I moved to Utah, finally found Mark and some other guys, Wolf Bell Band, and then I've been playing with Steve for years now, off and on, and lately pretty steady, so it's been real exciting.
Nice. Okay, how is the music scene like in your hometown, and what do you like about it? What don't you like about it?
Well, I'll start. I think Salt Lake, just has an amazing music scene here, and I don't know how much it's appreciated, but we have a ton of great artists here of all different types, and all you need to do is get out to bars or other venues and see how much we have out there. And we have a ton of musical colleagues that we know and we respect, and it's a real pleasure to be able to play with all these different people and hear them. So I think it's a really vibrant scene.
Okay. What about you, Gene?
I agree with Steve, and it's nice to see things coming back from the pandemic when everything was kind of closed down. And there are so many different types of musicians in Salt Lake. It's really fun. We run into all kinds of people, all kinds of styles, all kinds of bands. I wish there were more venues opening up, but I think that'll happen. I think people will have a real energy to go out and listen to live music again.
Yeah, for sure. What inspires you to write your next song?
Oh, there's all sorts of things. I've written a ton of songs, so has Gene. And, sometimes it's like, current events. Sometimes it's just a relationship that you're having. And sometimes it's just like a phrase you hear, right, that kind of catches you. And, when I write songs, I try to have something to say, maybe say it a little bit differently, but also have a good melodic backing to it, and so that the song is more than just a set of lyrics. It's catchy. It kind of grabs them a little bit.
Alrighty.
I think to a certain degree, I'm Mark, and I'm the drummer in the band, and I think one of the things that we do as a band is we play cover tunes so that we can get jobs in different places around town, and that gives us the ability to play our original songs that Gene and Steve have written, and we have a lot of fun with that. Steve typically, for instance, would put a song together, and then it's up to Gene to write a bass line and for me to put it to a beat, and we have a lot of fun with that. We're practicing for a couple hours every week, so I feel like it not only gives us an opportunity to practice and get better as a band, but also to help us with those things. The original tunes, at least as a drummer, I don't necessarily feel are in a can. In other words, we're not necessarily going to play it exactly like it was recorded maybe the first time. It kind of gives each of us the artistic ability to maybe put something new in. I might put a wood block in. I might put a crash cymbal in where I didn't have one. And one of the things that Gene and I do, holding up the rhythm section, I think, is we've played together a long enough period of time that it's really made it fun. We've kind of, he'll play something, and even if he plays something new, it's kind of catchy, and I'll try and add to that. And Steve typically plays it pretty close to how he wrote it originally, but I think as a band, the nice thing about playing original music is that we can make it sound however we want to make it. So
okay,
it's cool.
Nice. What are the steps that you take to create a song?
Well, like Steve said, ideas come from all over the place. They sometimes it's a phrase that you hear, or somebody says something that's interesting, or sometimes you're writing about an event that happened in your life. But I usually write on my guitar, and sometimes I'll use a keyboard. But I just, in the band especially, or even when I'm recording, I just want to get the structure of the song down with the chords and the verse, and the lyrics and a basic melody. But bringing songs to this band is really fun for me because they're interpreted. I don't try to force my ideas on these guys, and neither does Steve. That's what's fun because, like, if I've recorded a song before, if I bring it to the band, these guys play it totally different. That's really exciting for me because it doesn't sound like the record I made or the recording I made. It's a new thing, and that's what. Years ago, when I first started playing with Steve, that's also what attracted me to playing with Steve, because he'd have these songs and he'd worked them out maybe a long time ago, but he wouldn't push certain ideas on the band. He'd let the band bring their own interpretation up to it. And that's still exciting today. That's probably why we keep doing it.
Nice.
I think a good example is, for instance, Gene wrote a Harley Davidson song. It's a Milwaukee Harley Davidson song, and recorded it, and we were practicing one day and listened to the song and decided to try and play it, and it's a completely different version than what the recorded version is. But this version, in my opinion, it didn't lose anything. It's the way that we play it, and it makes it fun for us. So
okay, and is it just like all ages? Everybody just shows up and
we play different venues. We play bars a lot of times, and a lot of times we'll play in, like what Steve was describing. We're playing in a New York style delicatessen at Feldman's Deli up in Sugar House, and that's a completely different gig than what we would play at a bar. We're playing much more acoustically, and it becomes a little more intimate as far as us as musicians, and it's really fun to play in front of, like you say, an all ages venue. Anybody can go to the deli.
Yeah, for sure.
But we do run in often. We play. You got to be 21 to get in.
Yeah,
that's
most
a
of the
little
time.
different avenue.
Yeah.
Most of the time,
I would say I think one of the nice things about the people that support us, regardless of what venue we go to, it tends to be multi-generational. There's plenty of people, our age, early 30s, but I think the type of music we play and the way we play it, it attracts a lot of young folks too. And
for sure.
We're influenced a lot by the Grateful Dead in terms of just being able to improvise with each other and just kind of like listen very closely to what we're playing, so that there's a saying that you don't play the same song twice. It's always a little bit different. And I think that in the way we mix things up when we play a gig, it's like we never play the same thing twice. We don't even play the same set list twice.
Those all ages venues are kind of important to us because, we're family guys, and we enjoy inviting our friends and family.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
Now that we're a little past our 30s, I have grandkids that have come in to see me play. I've got a grandson that's 17 that's playing percussion up at Farmington High School. He's in a marching band but does percussion. and loves it, and I'm really proud of that. But I think it's great for us to be able to invite the family in and have those young ones coming up, because I feel like there's a certain inspiration that happens when they see us play. But I think maybe the part of this that makes it fun for us is being able to play and do it either electric, a loud electric show, or a much more intimate acoustic show, or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, we have a good time.
Yeah. One of the things that Steve mentioned too was that the songs are different all the time. And many years ago, I played in lots of cover bands, and some of the bands I couldn't wait to get out of the band because it was the same every night. I even got fired from a country band because I wouldn't play it straight all the time.
Yeah,
But-
I don't know how some of those bands do that, just to go the same thing over and over.
And so, like, every week, even at practice, when it's just practice and nobody's around, it's fun because we're always doing something that's just a little bit different or a little bit stranger than the time before. And
Yeah, just trying out new ideas all the
it's-
time.
It's always fun.
It's
And-
kind of boring to play the same thing the
Yeah.
same way every time.
Yeah, it really is.
I probably wouldn't still be playing if that's, how we did things. Improvisation is a long word. It's, it's just, that's what makes it fun playing together. I think.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. What is the greatest challenge you face in today's entertainment business, and how do you overcome them?
One of the things I'd like to mention, which is big on everybody's radar nowadays, is all these streaming services. They're fantastic because more people get to hear your music, but the artists aren't getting paid for it.
Yeah.
For example, last month I had some of my music's on all kinds of platforms, from Apple on down, dozens of them. And last month I think I had 394 people listened. It's not a lot, but anyway, you'd think maybe I'd get paid like $1 per song, like you're supposed to.
Yeah.
My check is $1.90.
Oh, wow.
So the recording side of music is really in a bad place, and even very famous musicians are talking about it. So I think it's important for especially kids coming up playing that the recording side has got to change. People have got to get paid when they make something and give it to the public. If I make a widget in my business, I get paid for it.
Yeah.
I can get paid very well, and but in music it's really difficult now, and I've had real trouble getting excited about putting things out on the monetary side, because it costs money to make things, right?
Yeah,
you have to
it
pay
does.
for the studios and stuff. But that's another reason why live music is so interesting. But the challenge, if you're recording, is really difficult now. But the good news is there's lots of studios and lots of places where you can record now, where a long time ago you had to have a lot of money to record, and now you can do it for pretty reasonable.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I would add to that, the part of the fact that there's so much streaming and everything is that there is so much music out there, and for you to kind of rise to the top, even momentarily, so that when someone pays enough attention to what you're doing, just not on a momentary basis, but really listens to it, and you get them hooked a little bit on it. I think that's why I think these days we tend to favor the live performances, because it's a lot more fun, it's a lot more engaging with your audience, and I think people would rather hear you play live than to sit around and listen to you just while they're exercising. So we've been favoring that a lot.
Nice. Alrighty. Where can we connect with you? Can you give us your social media links and where we can contact you?
Yeah, on Facebook, I just look up Steve Bassett Band. YouTube, also Steve Bassett Band. I have a website. It's steve-bassett.com, and you can hear some of our music, both some of our solo work and our band music. So we got plenty out there for people to listen to.
Yeah, and I've got some of my songs that we do in the band are on Gene Swift Band on YouTube.
All right.
GENE SWIFT, not to be confused with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Okay. What advice can you give to other upcoming artists and musicians trying to achieve success?
Well, I think the first thing when you're starting off is just, it's a lot of hard work in the beginning. Well, I guess it's always a lot of hard work, but it's very rewarding. And to don't listen to the inner voice that's telling you you're not good enough or you don't deserve to do this. You just push yourself, have fun, know that you're going to make a lot of mistakes along the way, but you're also going to get very good at it. And then, decide, what's your definition of success, right? Is it being able to have recordings out there for people to purchase? Is it playing live? Is it touring? Is it regional touring, national touring? And understand what you're getting into if you make those type of decisions. But first, be good at it.
And also, too, I think when we started out, it was just fun. And I think if you take the business side out of it and you're always finding the joy of music, you'll keep playing it. Because there's a lot of roadblocks on the business side of things. But if you're always focused on, I just want to make good music, I think you'll continue for a long time. That's what's kept me going. If I did it for money or things like that, I've made money and I've not made money, but it's the joy of playing with guys like this.
Yeah.
That just keep you really excited about things.
Nice. All right. Well, that just basically wraps everything up. We got Steve Bassett Band here. Go ahead and check them out, you guys, and we'll be updating you on some more information and officials coming soon.
Feldman's Deli is 6 to 8 o'clock on the 17th of May. And
we've got Boomerangs, that's in Mill Creek. That is going to be 6 to 8 on June 1st. And we've got Haglin Ranch, that's a private residence where they have a big stage in the back. That's on July 5th, and that's going to be from about 6 to 10. Just to name a
that gig's
few.
kind of special. That's we're splitting the money there with Haglin Ranch, and they have kind of a cool thing going on. They support the cancer foundations. They had a son that passed away in his early 20s and was also a musician, and so they've been kind enough to open up their horse ranch, and they have not just for us July 5th, but there's a whole lot of bands that play there on the weekends, and I would encourage anybody to take that in. It's a fun venue. You take your chairs in, you can take your beverages in, or a dinner, or it's kind of a picnic thing, and that'll be July 5th, and we look forward to having a really good time there. I think we start at around 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's a fun place.
Alrighty, I'll just have to get those dates available, and we'll get those posted as well on TikTok and YouTube.
Fantastic.
And so we're just going to go ahead and wrap it up right here.